a regular in the competition for a few seasons now, but you've really kicked on at City. What is it about the environment you think that brings out your best?
Yeah, well, you look at the club in the past and the players they have brought through. It's just, when you look at City, it's the club that is the standout in the league. The facilities we use, the staff we get access to, it's next to none. And yeah, it's a credit to all the City staff and what they provide us as athletes. And it brings out the best on and off the field. And I think it's just the environment that I've been in. Very good group here. The coaching staff are quality, and also the support staff off the field.
So, in terms of the game on the weekends, Brisbane obviously play quite a transitional style. You're a very creative player. You try very audacious things, make things happen. But in a game like a game against Brisbane, do you have to think more about your defensive work rate, or do you just sort of, it's still all systems go, make things happen?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, our main focus is our defensive side of things, and can we get pressure from the start of the game? And yeah, our attacking threats, as you can see in round one, will be there, but we just focus on the defensive side first, and yeah, we'll go from there. Brisbane are a quality team, and you can see last year they beat us 1-0 and took the premiership off us, but we know what we need to do, and our game plan will be just play the way we want to play, and can we set the pace from the start and hopefully pick up the 3 points.
So just finally, I'm going to ask Dario about this player as well, but I wanted to ask in midfield, what's it like working alongside young Daniela Gallage?
Yeah, she's a young player, but she brings even experience on the field, and you would have noticed in round one, obviously coming off a Youth World Cup, she brought that experience that she knew, and yeah, she's a quality player that's going to be the future of our game, and yeah, she's really nice to play with. She's got good touches on the ball, and yeah, we actually link up really well together.
Awesome, thanks mate.
No worries.
I'm going to build off that actually, because there's another young player that's joined the team this year, someone you'd be very, very familiar with, having come up against her multiple times as well. And that's Briley Henry. How have you found that she settled into the side after coming up from the Wanderers?
Yeah, she's settled in really well, and she's got quite a few friendships already in the group, so that was a bonus for her. But yeah, she will be looking to bounce off our passes, of Gallic and I's passes, and score a few goals herself. But yeah, she's fitted in really well, and as you saw in round one, she's already equalled her goal scoring tally from last year. But yeah, she's a massive bonus to our team, and yeah, she's doing really well here.
It's never easy transitioning to a new coach. I don't even think you can really call this mid-season. I guess early on in the campaign, but I guess from the outside, it looks like you haven't even really transitioned at all, because the fact that Dario has been involved with the setup for so long. I guess, has Dario brought his own tips and tricks into it, or is he does it look like he's following the same game plan and style that Rado would have brought in as well?
Oh, well, obviously losing your head coach is a massive loss, but we're lucky to have someone like Dario who can just step in and not change things, and add even what he experienced as a player to the group, and just have a different side of knowledge. But he's learned off his dad, and he's not going to change what his dad has brought in. But yeah, we're lucky enough to have Rado for pre-season, but nothing's changed. Dario stepped in, and it's been kept the same. The group's more than happy as well, and yeah, it's a big loss losing Rado, but yeah, we've also got a massive game in Dario.
And the team looks like it's, I've got to be careful with how I phrase this, it looks like it's building nicely off what the team was creating last year, and obviously the disappointing finals campaign. Is it how it actually is in camp?
Yeah, for sure. We want to go one step further. The last year's final absolutely kills us, so we want to get that minor premiership this year. We want to get that Champions Trophy this year, and the players that we've brought in more than are happy to work for that. So that's the environment we want to create here, and we want to be champions. We want to build off what the club achieved 3-4 years ago. So that's the goal, and everyone that's a part of City, whether they're on the field with us or off the field, that's what we want to achieve.
You said you guys had the away trip to Wellington. You got the first away trip to Wellington in the league. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool, being able to travel internationally again. It was a short trip, but yeah, the main focus was getting that 3 points and then going into our bye round with 3 points under our belt, and we did that. But yeah, overall it was an exciting trip, and it was really good to get some fans at Wellington and playing in front of their local fans as well.
Obviously, Wellington were hoping to get 10,000 there, but they set the record anyway, and it looks like crowd numbers are growing all across the competition. How exciting is it to be part of a competition that's growing in spades?
Yeah, it's very exciting, and with the Women's World Cup next year, it's a good time to get involved in the sport. We've got our first game at Casey Fields this weekend. We want to get all the local community out and get as many people as we can. As we play so many games in this local area, we want to get as a big of a community we can. So hopefully we get a good crowd this weekend in our local community, and we go from there.
All right, that's all from me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Rhianna. Just building off something that Taryn mentioned there. Obviously, you've been there now a couple of seasons over at Melbourne City. Just wanted to ask for yourself, where do you see yourself right now in your career? And do you have any ambitions or personal goals that you're wanting to achieve in the next couple of years, next 2 to 3 years or so?
Yeah, I suppose individually for myself, I just want to keep playing the best football I can and being the best teammate I can for City. Anything that comes across here is a bonus for me. I suppose having that Matilda's ambition is definitely there, and I'm not holding myself to it, but if it comes, I want to be given that opportunity if I can. But yeah, I'm just happy playing with the girls I am playing with at City, and just continue playing my best football.
Any thoughts about, I guess, moving abroad and internationally at some stage?
Yeah, if the opportunity arises, I definitely will look to go overseas. But if not, I'm very happy and comfortable playing my football here.
With Melbourne City, you mentioned that you guys are looking to, you've got those ambitions for the minor premiership and the championship, obviously. With last season and how you guys finished, what are you really looking to improve in your team's game, I guess as a collective for this season, so that you're able to really compete with the likes of Sydney and Melbourne Victory?
When you look at that final, we were the competitive team for most of the game, and we just had a few slips. So I suppose being that 90-minute team and learning to control the game more when we have that lead. We were 2-0 up in that 79th minute in that semi. That could change where we go to the grand final. So I suppose just controlling the game when we need to, keeping the ball a bit more, and yeah, just running down the clock when we have that lead. But I suppose for us it's just setting the tone in the game and continue to stick to our game plan that Dario's put in place and Rado has previously as well.
And just lastly, it looks like it looked like in the Wellington game that you guys were playing a bit more of a 4 at the back compared to last season, where there was a lot of 3 at the back. I was just wondering, obviously, the formation, the shape isn't the whole part of the tactics, but for yourself and where you're playing in midfield, has your role changed at all? And with the change in formation generally, is there anything further that you guys are looking to get out of that with that change?
Yeah, we actually changed it to 4 at the back against Wellington, and our formation will constantly change depending on who we're versing, depending on what Rado wants to achieve out of the game. But yeah, my role is pretty similar to last year. Continue to make forward runs, continue to get into the box and score some goals. But yeah, depending on who we're versing and what the way Dario wants to play, we won't really change it much. But yeah, we're really adaptive on what he wants to achieve.
That's all the questions for me. Thank you,
Awesome.
Rhianna.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Any more? Are we all good to go?
Just one more from me that I thought of. So obviously you've got the extended competition, in the A-League Women's, and it goes to full home and away next season. You also play NPL New South Wales. It was last year, this year. I guess. How do you expect how do you expect that the extended competition is going to impact players' ability to play in the NPL competition during the off season? Do you see maybe perhaps a lot more 8-game, 10-game home stints of sorts as opposed to full seasons? Like how do you see that playing out?
I think eventually we won't be able to play NPL, which is a good thing, because we want a league full time. We need a league full time, especially at the vital year of hosting a World Cup. You want to be coming off the back of a full time season, and it is a massive toll on our bodies. We go from city to NPL to city to NPL, so it's a massive toll. So having that full time season would be awesome, and would be awesome for the local fans. They can see us all year round. Would be good for the club to have around, and just staying in a stable facility would be awesome as well for us athletes.
And I do completely agree. And I mean, look, from a week to week basis, it's disappointing that you don't get to see all the stars, when that happens. But it's exactly what you all deserve. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later.
Thank you so much.